How much should you be eating in calories in a day? I'll keep it simple. You should be taking in about 10 to 13 calories per pound of body weight that you are. This is general math. If you want specific to you nutrition advice, go talk to a local professional in your area. I'm not a doctor, I'm a personal trainer. I'm not guaranteeing any results based on this video or any of my other videos. And depending on your activity level and goals, there is wiggle room here. Be careful not going too high or too low. I've had countless people just like you feeling stuck and frustrated and just don't know their next steps, but ready to make a change. Right now, we're going to discuss fundamentals that have really helped me help others transform their lives, and it'll help transform yours as well. The first step is understanding your baseline. You can't build a sustainable plan if you don't know what you're doing already. I'm not talking about your activity level or your weight just yet. I'm talking more about what you ate or drank just today or yesterday. If you don't track your food, I recommend using an app to help you do so. The one I use is MyFitnessPal. I'm not sponsored by them. Download that real quick and then we'll continue with the video. Now let's get into it. If you just downloaded the app, go ahead and enter your food that you had your last full day of eating, including your drinks. Now, as you're selecting your foods when you're using an app, sometimes they will have different calorie counts and different nutrition facts for each ingredient. Just do your best. I personally usually aim on a little bit of a high side just to give myself a cushion. Once you enter everything, you'll get a rough idea of what your calorie intake was. Now take a look at what you got from your app. We'll call this your baseline for now. Now, based on the formula at the beginning of the video, are you intaking more or less than 10 calories per pound of your body weight per day? And now I do want to say, for some people, this is not a bad thing if you're eating more or less. This will just give you a rough idea on where you are. Now let's discuss setting goals. Are you looking to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain your weight? Write this down, and as time goes, make it as specific as you possibly can with how much weight you want to weigh, maybe the amount of muscle mass, maybe have a couple of pictures. We'll get into more of this as time goes, but for now, we'll stick with this. Each goal requires a different approach. Looking to lose weight, work towards getting to the 10 calories per 1 pound of body weight per day. If you are way over when you look at what you put in the app, don't try to shoot right for the 10 right away. This could be dangerous. We don't want to shock your system. So for example, if you see that you were doing 16, that's not working. If for example, you were doing 16 calories per pound of body weight per day, maybe tomorrow start with trying 15 calories per pound of your body weight. Once you've tried this for 2 weeks to roughly 30 days, check in, see how things are going, see how you're feeling. If you're feeling fatigued or starving, make sure you talk with your local professional, see if you need to adjust anything. If you're looking to gain muscle and you're already eating the 10 calories per pound of body weight per day, you can start working towards the 13 calories per pound of body weight per day. There is nuance to this. It's going to depend on how quickly, how much. This is why we want to make sure that we're doing things slowly and taking into account of how you feel and how things are going on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. Along with those nuances, this will have a lot to do with protein. Check out my Easy Math for Protein video after you watch this video. If you're looking to maintain your weight, then maintain whatever calories you put in the app now. Check that every so often, find an average for the whole week, and then you'll be able to just home in on your whole foods to make sure you're doing it as healthy as possible. So if you're already doing 1,500 calories per day and you like where you are now, try to make that as clean of a 1,500 as you can. If you find out that you're actually doing an average of 1,750 because you found an average over the whole week that you've been doing this math, then maybe you want to stick around that number instead. So what you want to do is do this for about 7 days. As you're first getting your math, find the average over the first 7 days. That'll give you a good idea of where you should be if you're trying to maintain your weight. If you learned something so far, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff. Small channel, trying to grow, give you as much education as possible. Share this with someone who you think could benefit from it as well. I didn't mention what the 2,000 calories per day was on the board. That is me just using this as a generalization. If you were 200 pounds and doing this formula at 10 calories per pound of body weight per day, it would come out to 2,000 calories. No matter what your goal is, we should be getting our food from as whole foods as we possibly can. If you have been tracking your food, then get an average of calories over the past 7 days, as I was mentioning. If you're finding that there are inconsistencies or you're not quite hitting your goals like you want to, you might be shocked. There could be some days where you're way off. And this is one of those situations where cheat days can offset days of work. If you haven't been tracking, after a week or so, look back at what you've done, get an average for yourself, and then model your days after the best days that you've had so you can replicate that and tweak from what has been working. You'll start to notice the habits and the disciplines and actionables that will lead you to consistent and more regular change. Okay, I can't move on without feeling a little bit guilty about not at least tapping on protein. So for protein, the very general math is you should be eating about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. Again, very general math. Check out my other video once you get done this one, but I want to at least tap on that because that is very important when it comes to food as well. So as I was just mentioning, it's not only about quantity of food, but it's about quality of food as well. So we should be getting our calories from as whole foods as possible. Simply put, lightly seasoned steak, broccoli, and spinach is way better than steak with steak sauce, broccoli with cheese whiz, and I don't know, maybe some cheese fries on top of that. We want to try to keep as little processed as we possibly can. This includes, and is not limited to, those sour cream and onion chips, the nacho chips, ice cream, muffins, cookies. All of that is heavily processed. Yes, some of it can be made with more whole ingredients and be healthier, but let's try to figure out what our goals are, make sure we're going towards that, and usually you'll notice that those things will not help you as much as you think they are. You might also notice that as you're doing this more and more, you feel less attracted to eating those kinds of foods just because of the feelings that eating healthier is getting you. Maybe saying eating cleaner is the more proper way. Now it comes down to you. Yep, we can't take you out of the equation, just like I can't take myself out of the equation in these same situations. So give yourself some time, give yourself some grace as you're practicing these things. It's not going to happen overnight. And on the days that you're feeling good, really go hard on it. That way, on the days that you're not feeling so great, you'll have some of those habits in place, or at least know that you're able to do those things, which can sometimes be just that little bit of motivation that we need to get going. And when I say motivation, I'm not talking about, oh, I feel ready to go, but knowing that you have done it before so you can do it again. Eventually, these skills will be more automatic, but I can't stress enough that planning on the good days is gonna make the difference. Now, the best tip that I've ever heard was putting your meals into your app at the beginning of the day is the easiest way to stay on track. So if you already prep your food, or if you plan ahead, just as I was mentioning, put your food into that app. You can edit it as you go throughout your day. So at least you know from the beginning of the day, roughly what you need to do. So you don't have to think midway through your day when you're in the middle of a work meeting, going out for lunch with some friends, of what you need to do next. Now just remember, your fitness journey is a marathon, not a sprint. Because I had to say at least one really bad cliche. It's all about doing the habits that you need to get, or acquiring habits that you need to do to become the person that you are looking to become sustainably. Oftentimes when we're thinking about what we need to do in the future to become the person we want to become, we think of some outlandish goals or things we have to do on a day-to-day basis that are huge, but it's those micro steps that are going to make the difference. It's not 1% better every day. It's not hustle mentality. It's none of these things. It's doing little things like in this lesson and the next lesson to come to acquire small skills and habits that will help sustain the person that you are growing into.